how did you in those days, like when what is the stage fright? Is it like, do you freeze? Do you have
Yeah.
butterflies? Is it,
Whatever your gift is, that goes away.
so you literally
Like she would be afraid her knees would go or something.
ah,
Or whatever weak point that she has that she knows. You start thinking about, oh,
yes, yeah.
am I going to remember the lyrics?
Did you ever forget your lyrics?
Maybe once or twice, but it's been such a phobia with me.
Yeah.
What happens is you focus on it and you
It
know
makes it
that
bigger.
before the show, people can't talk to you and do all that. You got to get away
Yeah.
and find out what your weak points are because they're real ones.
Yeah.
That's why
yeah.
the phobia keeps coming back. And no matter, well, a phobia is a fake fear. This is a real one.
Yeah, yeah.
How
that's
did you
real.
get back recentered, when facing those moments of the nerves and, facing the phobia? Like, what brought you back?
I think losing my whole life, losing my daughter, losing my family, losing my career, being homeless,
Oh my god.
being out on the street with my little suitcase and that's it. That's when I realized I had to get a suitcase with wheels so I could keep moving. And realizing that what my mother gave me was Christianity. I went to Catholic school. We were christened and baptized as babies. That's real. It stays with you. All these years later, I can tell you, and of course now I can be the proof of it. And when the things fell apart, I said, what's wrong? And you find out what's wrong. And Jesus is missing. I said, well, where's that? And I'm raised Catholic. I'm saying, where's Jesus? Obviously, I had lost him.
Yeah.
And so I started reading books. And, well, first of all, I have to give thanks to a gentleman by the name of Michael Matthews. He started the traveling gospel musical comedies that Tyler Perry has made it into a multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry. Do you know where Central Park South is?
Of course.
That's where I used to live. Okay?
Wow.
I got evicted from there.
But how, Mrs. Moore? Like, I think people would be curious about how the industry is. You were successful on Broadway. You had successful albums. Like, how do you go from that to losing everything?
My manager husband, behind my back, forged my name on divorce documents, divorced me.
Oh my gosh.
And signed all of our business and marital assets over to himself.
Whoa.
Wow.
A member of his family told me about it. That's how I found out about it. I was able to get attorneys and find out what happened. And as it turned out, as the fight went on, I had to go public because my physical health body was being threatened. So I was the one who went to the news to say, I'm having to file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
I can't afford attorneys. I couldn't really represent. And then he was suing me, to try to say that it wasn't true. And I didn't have attorneys. So I had to do what I guess Martin Luther King called civil disobedience to get the press to pay attention.
Yeah.
And finally the judge said, I'm sick of you all coming in front of me. So he says, well, you're in contempt of court. And I said, yeah. He said, well, why are you doing this? That's because he's taken everything. I can't even afford attorneys. I'm going to family court because it doesn't cost you anything. And I'm going to the press because I'm afraid I'm going to wind up in an alley somewhere and somebody's going to be told that I was a crack addict.
Right.
And that's what's going to be my legacy.
Yeah. In my mind, I was thinking, back then, these things did not happen. And back then, people were more dignified and
it began
what they did.
with Adam and Eve.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my goodness. My people were so shocked. Mind you, I'm traveling the world nonstop since I'm 18. And nobody would have known I was still making $100 a month.
A month?
A month. The person that I was working for was keeping all the money, from traveling, room and board. I was staying in their boarding house. There was so much going on.
Yeah.
There was so much going on behind the scenes. And for me, social media was coming up. And it's just like, little old me, nobody's going to listen to me.
Right.
Nobody's going to believe me. Right. And it took a lot until I was able to really be able to stand on my 2 feet without this person.
Yeah.
But there's so many struggles. I think me and my mom lived in every part of Los Angeles before we were able to get our own studio apartment in LA. And it was a family of 6 living in a studio.
There's one room.
Yes.
One room, and it had a little kitchenette with my 4 other, my dad and my 3 other siblings.
Right.
And nobody would have believed. They're like, Amari, you're traveling the world. You're making so much money. Right. I'm like, yes, but that's all of a side. And so,
it's like what they say in church. My story don't look like my glory. Okay. My glory don't look like my story. Right. So you just never know.
You never know. And so, like you said, learning the importance of business. I went from being taken care of all the time. I was just a child to having to grow up and learn so many things about credit, about finances, just about life in general. And when you don't take that time to really learn those type of information, that type of knowledge.
Actually, my daughter's teaching me about credit now, how it works. Because one of the things I found out is you got nothing, you better have some cash somewhere.
Exactly.
But as you go from just surviving to thriving, you need to know how the systems work.
Yeah, how to keep it going.
Even for people, because there are a lot of people out there who will watch this and they want to be performers, they want to be backup dancers. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, on average, dancers earn $21.64 per hour. That's real, you know, because people think, oh, you're on stage, or
maybe
making
even less.
6 and 7 figures. Right, exactly. And pay for these for backup dancers. It varies depending on location. Dance style, the project, who you're working for. So like a dancer who earns a spot on an artist tour, pay is broken down to rehearsal, show pay, it's not all like glamorous. And between 2022 and 2023, the profession grew by 5%. So now it's more competitive. There are people, and it's like you have to love it. You have to love it to do it, right? Because if you're doing it for money or fame, it's going to impact, what you're.
The moment you get scared, you say no.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This is 15 years of hard work and perseverance to now be at a place where I feel okay financially. I know how to take care of my money. I know how to budget. I know what I should be spending money on, what I shouldn't. And that's after a lot of bad situations where I was getting a big check and then in less than 3 days, 5 days, it's gone.
I just want to say, so the bad times are important.
Yes.
Why though? Why do you think the bad times
you tell us.
I would say just for me, it's helped me grow and just mature in a lot of ways because